Hey, what's up? I'm Casey and this is CaseyReacts. Today I'm going to be going through life pro tips on Reddit. Picture it, Sicily, 1923. You go to your favorite pasta place and you spill red sauce all over your brand new white dress. Well, it's 1923. You don't know how to get that out. You don't have the internet to tell you what to do. You know what you especially don't have? Reddit's life pro tips. I guarantee if life pro tips was in 1923 in Sicily, there would be no chance of someone not being able to get red sauce out of their white dress. So if you're ready to learn how to get that red sauce out of that white dress, let's get to it. Warning, none of these life pro tips actually get red sauce out of white dress. Stop overthinking your tasks. It leads to analysis paralysis and you end up just thinking about work instead of actually doing it. Have a very basic plan and just start working. You'll figure things out along the way. Yeah, overthinking's never good, but try not to underthink though. It's good to have some sort of a plan. Doesn't have to be bare bones basic, but it's gotta be something. I mean, a lot of people follow this advice whenever they're gonna have a baby, and it doesn't always work out the best way. For some reason, people think, if it happens, it happens. We'll figure it out. Have a plan. When you tell someone you need to speak to them at a later time, let them know what the subject matter is. It saves the person that you need to speak with a lot of anxiety. For me personally, I already have a lot of things going on at any given moment and struggle with anxiety. Instead of saying, hey, we need to talk, and refuse to give any context, say, hey, when you get a chance, I'd like to talk to you about X. Or, hey, later on I've got a couple of questions about Y. If people would let me know what needs to be discussed, I would have a better chance of having an intelligent discussion as opposed to entering the situation already on edge. Yeah, I really don't feel like there's anything more I can add to it. Just give an explanation of, hey, I need to talk to you about this in particular. That way, they aren't going to be writhing in agony for an entire day or however long it takes you to get back to them. When a cat shows you its belly, pet around the cheeks and not the belly itself. Cats show their belly as a sign of trust, so going for their belly is seen as an immediate violation of that trust and may result in biting or scratching. If your cat has shown in the past that it likes belly rubs, that's an exception of course, but the average kitty just wants you to know that you're trusted by exposing its most vulnerable area to you. Yeah, all cats are different, but don't ever go straight for the belly unless you know the cat very well. My cat in particular, if I go for the belly, she will grab my hand, bite me twice, and then look like she's about to bite me, and then instead lick me right where she bit me. She gives me a lot of mixed signals. I'm not really sure where I stand in our relationship. When telling a boss about a problem, propose at least one solution to resolve it. It'll show that you're working to resolve it instead of just passing the buck. I think that really heavily depends on what the problem is. If the problem is, hey, we're having raccoons steal stuff from our garbage cans, then yeah, definitely propose a solution that says, hey, let's put really good lids on our garbage cans. However, if the problem is, hey, Meredith down in HR said that I suck, you shouldn't really propose any kind of solution because there's a very obvious bias that you're going to have in this one. If you're working in a technical role, IT, engineering, etc., write everything you do as if it was a user manual. Ignore those who will say it will be used to replace you. It's more likely to be used to show management, you can give me that promotion. The next guy is all set. However, that largely depends on the company. Depending on the company, it will definitely be used to train your replacement, and you probably won't end up getting a promotion. If someone asks or texts you a general question and your initial thought is, why didn't they just Google it? They probably thought of you specifically when the question entered their mind. Use this as an opportunity to connect with them. Or they could, just want to talk to you. I mean, I've asked my wife obvious questions just because I wanted to start a conversation. I mean, Google doesn't have to be the answer to everything. If you're thinking of buying a product online, always look at the negative reviews because 5-star reviews are often fake. However, beware negative reviews as well. The 1-star reviews, those a lot of the time are just somebody that didn't know how to use the product or just happened to get one that happened to malfunction. I prefer to look for the 2s to 4 ranges. That way, they're going to say, hey, these are the problems with this product, but they're not going to say either, this product sucks, don't buy it, or this is the greatest product ever, buy it. If someone keeps delegating their tasks to you at work because they're being lazy, don't say no. Instead, say something like, I have a priority that I need to do for manager. Let me get approval from manager if this can be added to my list. We all encounter that lazy person at work who tries to delegate their tasks to others. The worst part is they take credit for the work they didn't do. If you want them to stop, just tailor the conversation to make a point that you have other priorities, but before you take on additional tasks, say that you need management's approval to add their task to your list of priorities. If they're shady and know they're taking advantage of you, most often than not, this will get them to back off. If they keep insisting, tell your management. Say, Chad is asking me to do this, but I have these priorities that I need to complete for you. He insists that I add this task to the list, but to do that, I need to reprioritize the work I'm doing for you. Which one of these tasks would you like me to drop for his? This sets a tone that you're willing to help, but you have to sacrifice one of your management's priorities to help Chad. This will lead management to have a conversation with Chad. Most likely, he'll never ask you again and start looking for a new victim. And this is the point in the story where you tell everybody in the office, hey, Chad's going to do this, so talk to management and get Chad to do his own work. Eventually, Chad's either going to stop asking people to do his work, or he's going to get fired because management's going to say, oh, well, looks like Chad's not doing his work and instead is trying to get other people to do it for him. Okay, bye Chad. Adopt an adult dog from a shelter if you want a companion but don't have the time or patience to train a puppy. They're already potty trained in most cases and love you all the same. Plus, there are a lot of them. It's a win-win for everyone involved. Also, just adopting a pet from a pet shelter, once again, it's a win-win for everyone involved. Doesn't matter the age, just adopt. Adopt from shelters. If you finally find your perfect haircut, make sure to take a photo of it. It's going to make your life much easier when you go to the barber. Yeah, you want to have this. Eventually your barber is going to learn it, but if you end up having to go to a different barber for whatever reason, whether it be your barber decided to close his shop, he's full, or you moved to a new city, it's always handy because your new barber is going to say, oh, this is what you do. Okay, I can do that. I've switched barbers at least 4 times within the last year, and I'll tell you what, I take a picture every single time, especially if they do something slightly different, but it's better. I take a picture. That way I can show any new barber, hey, this is what I want. And it pretty much comes out perfect almost every time. When you find a clothing item that you really like and fits you very well, buy a few more. Eventually, the original will wear down and lose shape, and it'll be hard to find a replacement. Oh my god, yes. I have a specific brand of undershirts I like to buy. Gildan. Well, I used to buy them exclusively from Walmart, but they started not selling them anymore. I was angry because obviously my shirts are starting to wear out and I only had 5 of them. It took me a year before I could find them in another store. I didn't go onto their website to order them because they were just a little bit more expensive on the website, but yeah, if you find that article of clothing that you really like, stock up. You never know if it's going to go away. When using an ATM or similar device, give the housing around the card reader a quick jostle to make sure it's not a skimmer. I'm sure this has been said often, but a reminder never hurts as we start traveling more post-pandemic. Get into the habit of checking for skimmers when using your card. You may not catch them all, but the more cheaply made or installed ones will usually pop right off. If you see one, notify law enforcement or the owner of the establishment. Also, if your payment card leaves your hands, such as in a restaurant, try to keep an eye on where it goes. A server should take right to the register and back. If they take too long out of sight, or if you see them run it through more than one device, get enough cash to last you about 5 business days and immediately stop payment on that card. Just be very careful with anything that has to do with your money. It's so easy to have money get stolen from you right out of your account. I never carry cash unless I absolutely have to because I can just cancel a card, but oftentimes, you never really know if you're going to get ripped off, if you're going to get stolen from. So, it's best just to be as cautious as you possibly can whenever you're dealing with your cards and your money. One more good tip that you probably know, if you're going to travel out of the state, out of the country, wherever you are, make sure you notify your bank exactly where you're going and exactly how long you're going to be there. Because if they have any other charges that come out of that area from a different day, they'll immediately hot card your card and they'll let you know, hey, we detected fraud, we closed down that card, come get a new one. Seems excessive, but you can never be too safe with your money. If you're road tripping as an adventure, not just to go somewhere, buy a road atlas and take the 2-lane highways. It's slow going, but that's how you actually see the countryside. There's nothing to see on the interstates. Buy a highlighter, take notes, and mark up your map. Look for the scenic routes. They're marked with little dots on the map. Look up the classic 2-lane highways. Lots of history and great small towns to explore. Yeah, if you live on the West Coast, the Pacific Coast Highway is apparently one of the greatest scenic drives you'll ever take in America. Specifically in America. I don't think it's in any other country. But if you're in America, if you're near the West Coast, or if you're not near the West Coast and you still want to see it, from what I've heard, it's an amazing drive that's about 600 miles long. But most people that go to it don't regret it whatsoever. Apparently it has beautiful scenery. If someone you know loses the use of an arm for some reason, a simple kid's plate with dividers and suction cups on the bottom can make eating one-handed a lot easier. You can also find them at thrift stores a lot of the time for very cheap. Also, you might be embarrassed to ask, but the kitchen at most restaurants will cut your food into bite-sized pieces if politely requested. Just make sure you actually only have use of one arm if you do this, because they probably won't be very entertained if you ask them to do it whenever you could easily do it yourself whenever they get back to the table. Avoid doing things you love with people who make you unhappy. There's a neurological evidence to support this. When our brains encode memories, they encode them with the stimuli we're experiencing at the time they were encoded. If an individual makes you unhappy while you're doing something you love, the emotional quality associated with that individual can be coupled with your memory of the event. The result is that you may end up liking that thing less because of the negative association. Protect your hobbies and the things you love from the people who bring negativity. So that explains why I now hate playing video games alone. Too many unhappy nights of just playing video games all night without anything to do. When buying anything, if the salesperson says things like, there are other interested parties, or someone's made an offer close to asking price already, don't fall for it. It's a common sales technique to make you rush your decision and maybe even pay too much for something. A lot of people, and I must admit, me too when I was younger, fall for this. The salesperson reads your body language as you look at the item you're buying, and if they notice you're eager on buying it, they'll try anything they can to close the deal. This can go from trying to drive the price up, there's a lot of interest in this and someone already offered X amount for it, to trying to persuade you to buy it quickly before it's gone. A lot of people want to come look at it, so if you decide now, I can call all of them off. Don't fall for these things. If you don't need it right away, say that you need to think it over. Chances are high that the item was apparently so popular it's still being sold the next week. You can go back and try to get the price down since it still hasn't been sold. Yeah, car salesmen are sharks. They will smell anybody inexperienced in the water and go after it and take a big bite. Also, and I'm speaking from personal experience here, if you get that car, don't buy the extended warranty. Costs an extra few $1,000s and they make it seem like it's a great buy. But here's the thing. It lasts for, I think it was 1,500 miles or 3 months, whatever comes first. $3,000 for 3 months. Are you really willing to pay that $3,000 if you know for a fact there's no way that your car is going to screw up within 3 months? Well, don't fall for it. I'm still paying $9,000 left on my car and it could be down to $6,000 by now. But I got fooled. Don't get fooled. Learn from my mistakes. And if you do get fooled by a salesman, don't beat yourself up over it. They're professionals. They do this for a living. Their job is to screw people over. If you're looking to get out of vehicle debt that you can no longer afford, now's the time to sell your car back to a dealer because of the shortage of new car inventory. Keep in mind, your vehicle has to be desirable and clean. Also, if you do sell your new car to somebody, make sure you try to get them to buy the extended warranty. Trust me, if they buy it, you'll be rolling in at least $3,000 for their, foolishness. If you have a friend or family member that owns their own business or has a side hustle, never ask for a discount. You of all people should respect the time and effort that they put into their craft and support their success without thinking of yourself first. If the person's willing and able to give you a discount, that should be up to them. Keep this in mind and you will avoid feelings of resentment and hurt in the future. Also, I don't think I should have to say this, but, well, here we are. If they don't give you any kind of discount, don't get pissy about it. Say, hey, thank you for selling me your product, and let it end there. If you don't like the fact that you didn't get a discount, that's okay. Just don't buy from them again. But don't try to make them feel guilty for not giving you a discount just because you're friends, family, or whatever. They don't owe you anything. Need music to help you be productive during work? Try video game music or music inspired by it. It's designed to be background music by nature and less distracting, but it still helps you focus. Just make sure that you don't download the Doom soundtrack to listen to because you might accidentally kill your entire neighborhood. Your kids are never going to fully appreciate the limited time they have with you. Give them as much info about yourselves to them as you can. Pictures, video diaries, written letters. We can tell kids and young adults that they won't have their parents forever, but no one misses their parents or strives to know them until they're gone. Imagine the questions you never got to ask a lost relative, and give your kids a chance to get to know you and hold on to your memory. Warning, this does not work if you have pets. You have to have kids for it. If you and your family are staying over at a friend's or relative's place, pack a power strip or two. It'll be helpful in easily charging all of your electronics without unplugging their stuff, moving furniture to find outlets, etc. Also equally as effective. Hey, insert name here. Can I see an outlet so I can plug in my phone? That works just as well. When working with small objects like screws and you drop them, ignore your instinct to try and catch them. Instead, hold still and watch it fall. It'll make it much easier to find and less likely that you'll bat it across the room. I've got a bone to pick with this one. I followed that advice whenever I accidentally dropped my nephew, and now my brother's pissed at me. So make sure that you know exactly what it is you're dropping. If it's a living being, you should probably try and catch it. They were very disappointed in me, and now I'm not allowed to hold my nephew. Take any chance you can get to learn basic first aid and CPR. You do not need to be a medical professional to save someone's life. Yeah, I really don't have a joke about this one or any kind of deep advice or whatever. Just do it. It's really good to be CPR certified. Most people understand when talking to the police that everything you say can and will be used against you. Also know that nothing you say will be used in your benefit. Always get a lawyer when talking to the police. Nothing good will come from you trying to explain yourself to them if questioned, even if you did nothing wrong, and tell the truth. That's decent advice, but here's the thing. Don't ever talk to police. Just never, ever talk to police. They're not here to protect you. They're here to arrest you. Here's a good script to use from the Pot Brothers at Law here in California. What you're going to do is, if you get pulled over, you say, "Why am I being pulled over?" When they ask what you're doing, tell them, "I'm not discussing my day with you." If they keep asking questions, you say, "Am I being detained or am I free to go?" If you're free to go, great. Tell them, "Have a good day," and leave. However, if they say, "Yes, you're being detained," here's what you do. You say, "I invoke the Fifth," and then you shut the hell up. Don't speak. Don't say anything. Don't talk to the police. Always film the police. Remember, they are not your friend. They are your enemy. Yeah, they can help people, but they hurt just as many people as they help. Don't talk to the police. Nothing you say can or will be used to help you. They will only try to get you with whatever charges they can. Alright, and on that informative note, let's finish this up. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to come back throughout the week for more content. Please like and subscribe to help keep this channel going, and remember to have a great week.